Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install this GKToday Academy app. So if you want to read the text version of this quiz, please install this app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. Now, let's start. Which is the first Gulf Arab country to establish diplomatic relationship with Israel? So it is UAE, as UAE and Israel have agreed to establish diplomatic ties, and therefore UAE is going to be the first Persian Gulf country to do so. Moreover, UAE became the third Arab country to enter into diplomatic ties with Israel. First two are Egypt and Jordan. Now, UAE was also in news as it became the first Arab country to launch mission on Mars, and it was Hope probe. So this mission was launched with the help of Japan. UAE was also in news as it was the first Arab country to start a nuclear power plant, and it was Barak nuclear power plant, and this was started with the help of South Korean technology. Now, Israel was also in news because of Operation Breathing Space, and South Korea was in news because of recent presidential elections. UAE was also in news as it is going to be the host of this year's IPL tournament. IPL stands for Indian Premier League. So it is a cricket tournament. Now recently, cricketer and politician Chetan Chauhan passed away. Apart from him, recently, former Indian skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Suresh Raina announced their retirement. Who has the longest tenure as head of elected government among all the Indian prime ministers? So the question is about tenure as head of elected government. It is not about central government only. Right answer is our present prime minister. So among all the prime ministers, he has the longest tenure as head of elected government, including his term of more than 12 years as the chief minister of Gujarat. So his total term is now 18 years and 300 days. So his total term is now 18 plus years. He is also the longest serving non-Congress Prime Minister of the country. Which country is to partner with Russia in the production and marketing of coronavirus vaccine? So this country is Brazil. So both countries are going to collaborate, and RIDF has entered into an agreement with Brazil. What is RIDF? It is Russian Direct Investment Fund. Now, Brazil was also in news as recently Facebook launched its WhatsApp Pay, and this feature was first launched in Brazil. Later, the Brazilian authorities suspended its operations. Now, Brazil was also in news as the new president of New Development Bank is from Brazil, and he is Marcus Trozio. New Development Bank is banked by BRICS countries, and the headquarters of this bank is in Shanghai, and the regional office of this bank is in Johannesburg. Now there is one more RIDF. It is Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. This one was Russian Direct Investment Fund. So this RIDF was set up by the government of India in 1995-96 for financing the rural infrastructure projects, and it is maintained by NABARD. Microsoft Research Lab has developed a machine translation tool for which tribal language? So this has been developed for Gondi tribal language, and the name of the tool is INMT, that is Interactive Neural Machine Translation. So this has been developed by Microsoft, and this tool translates sentences from Hindi to Gondi language and vice versa. So obviously this will motivate people to learn the language. What is N1 Stop LAMP? That was in news recently. So it is a COVID-19 test, and this test can detect the presence of SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. Now, the good thing about this test is that it is 100% accurate, and it is a quick test. It can give results in less than 20 minutes. So please note this term, it is important. Which institution has partnered with Coursera to offer certificate programs in artificial intelligence and machine learning and in data science? So it is IIT Roorkee, and this program is proposed to be launched in 2021. Now, if we talk about artificial intelligence, the world's first graduate level artificial Intelligence University is in UAE, and it is Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. Apart from that, Telangana is celebrating 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. In addition to that, WHO is celebrating 2020 as International Year of Nurses and Midwife. On the other hand, the decade of 2021 to 2030 will be celebrated as UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. What is the name of DRDO certified device for disinfection of surfaces launched by Union Minister Nitin Gadkari? So the name is Atulya. It has been developed by DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. Now it is a disinfection device and it will clean the surfaces and make them virus free. Recently, DRDO was also in news because of Dare to Dream initiative. It was second version. DRDO is under Defense Ministry. Recently, Defense Ministry was in news as Union Defense Minister launched Srijan platform, and this portal is an online portal that aims to promote the indigenization of defense items production. So this portal is important. Now, Defense Ministry was also in news as recently it released a negative list, that means negative import list of 101 items. Gangadhar Mehar Lift Canal System is an irrigation project of which state or union territory? So it is a project of Odisha, and recently it was in news because the cabinet of Odisha approved this project. Now your homework is to read what is the lift irrigation system. Now Odisha was also in news as it is the top state in the implementation of Amrut scheme. Odisha was also in news as it became the first state to get the ISO certificate for tribal hostels. Odisha was also in news because of tsunami ready status to two communities, and the status was given by IOC. What is IOC? It is Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, and it is a commission of UNESCO. As per the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, all the ongoing renewable energy projects are given time extension by how many months? So it is 5 months. This time extension was given because of this pandemic situation, and the implementing agencies have been directed to treat this COVID-19 as force majeure. What does this mean? It means unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract. Now recently, MNRE was also in news as Indu Shekhar Chaturvedi took charge as the new secretary of MNRE. The ministry was also in news as recently it decided to put on hold the One Sun, One World, One Grid initiative. So what is the objective of this initiative? The objective is to ensure a global ecosystem of interconnected renewable energy resources, and this system was proposed by India, and recently MNRE announced that it has been put on hold till further notice. What documentary films were screened by the Films Division to mark the celebration of Independence Day? So right answer is India Wins Freedom and India Independent. In addition to these two films, Online Patriotic Film Festival was organized by the Ministry of INB, that is Information and Broadcasting. What is the quantum of annual dividend payout approved by RBI to the Government of India? So it is 57,000 crores. It is important to note that as per this year's budget, government had estimated a dividend of 60,000 crores. So government had estimated this much dividend from central bank, that means RBI, and from other government owned financial institutions. Now RBI was also in news because of PIDF. It was also in news because of the currency swap agreement with Sri Lanka. Recently RBI was also in news as it is going to align its accounting year with the accounting year of government. What is the accounting year of government? It is from April to March. What is the accounting year of RBI? It is July to June. So from next session, it is going to be same as the accounting year of government. So this present accounting year is going to be shorter. So it started from July 2020 and it will end in March 2021, so that it can be synchronized with government's accounting year. Answer in comment box which committee gave this recommendation to align RBI's accounting year with the accounting year of Government of India. the Center for Biopharma Analysis, that is CBA, is set up in which city? So it is going to be set up in Pune. And recently it was inaugurated by the Secretary of DBT, that is Department of Biotechnology. And it has been funded by National Biopharma Mission. And this mission is implemented by this DBT. Now Pune is in Maharashtra. Recently Maharashtra was in news because of Project Platina. Recently Maharashtra also partnered with Google for school learning initiatives. Pune was in news as it launched Sanyam app. Pune was also in news as recently India's first intercity electric bus service was started between Mumbai to Pune. The documentary film named The Next Frontier, India's Smart Cities was premiered by which agency? So it was premiered by National Geographic. And The Next Frontier is a documentary on 4 Indian cities. These 4 cities are Surat, Visakhapatnam, Pune and Varanasi. Now what is the Smart Cities initiative? So it is a initiative started by the government for urban renewal and retrofitting. And the nodal ministry for this initiative is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It is the ministry which was in news recently because of PM Swanidhi scheme. And SIDBI is going to be the implementing authority for this scheme. Now this ministry is also related to Hridaya scheme. It is also related to Amrut scheme. So these were the most important questions of today's quiz. Now we are going to cover important news. Feel free to skip it at your own risk if you do not like the format. So first news is related to arms embargo on Iran. What is the meaning of embargo? It means official ban. So recently United Nations defeated the demand of USA to extend the arms embargo on Iran. It is important to note that USA left the JCPOA, that is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. So this is related to Iran, and this deal prevented Iran from proliferation of nuclear weapons. Next is Flood Forecasting Initiative. So the CWC, that is Central Water Commission, along with Google, has launched this Flood Forecasting Initiative, and as per this initiative, the alerts can be sent to the public regarding flood situation in the area. What is CWC? It is Central Water Commission. Next is Official Languages Act. So it is an act of 1963. Why it was in news? Because recently Chief Justice of India mentioned that government should consider amending this Official Languages Act to include more vernacular languages in the governance. It is important to note that right now most of the official work is done either in Hindi or in English. Next is IISc ISRO. So IISc Bengaluru and ISRO collaborated and developed a sustainable process for making brick-like structure on the surface of moon, and it has been given the name Space Bricks. So this has been developed by IISc Bengaluru and ISRO. Next is Vikram Sarabhai. So recently ISRO paid tribute to Dr. Vikram Sarabhai by announcing that Chandrayaan-2 orbiter has captured the moon images of Sarabhai crater. Now it is important to note that Dr. Sarabhai played a key role in our space programs, and it was on his recommendation government set up INCOSPAR. What is INCOSPAR? It is Indian National Committee for Space Research. So this committee was set up in 1962, and later it was renamed as ISRO in 1969. Next is Gunjan Saxena. So recently Flight Lieutenant Gunjan Saxena was in news because of a movie. It is important to note that she is the first Indian woman to fly in combat zone, and she is an IAF officer, that is Indian Air Force officer. Actually now she is retired, but because of this movie she was in news. Next is Naga Independence Day. So this was celebrated on 14th of August, and this Naga Independence Day was celebrated in the states of Nagaland and Manipur. And Nagaland became the full-fledged state in 1963. Now in this context, please read what is Hydri Agreement. Next is Shah Faisal. So the president of Jammu and Kashmir People's Movement has stepped down, and he has decided to quit the politics. He is an IAS officer who resigned from the services and decided to form this political party, that is Jammu and Kashmir People's Movement. And now he has resigned from the politics, and Firoz Pirzada has been appointed as the interim president of this Jammu and Kashmir People's Movement. Next is Oracle Cloud. So recently it has been selected to transform the aspirational districts. this is an initiative of Niti Aayog. And as per this initiative, the most backward districts of our country will be on focus, and the idea is to monitor the real-time progress of these aspirational districts. Next is Arundoi scheme. So in last to last lecture, this scheme was covered, and it is a scheme of Assam government. And in that lecture, I mentioned that it is a scheme for farmers. Actually, it is a scheme that will benefit around 17 lakh families in the state of Assam. And it is the biggest scheme of Assam, and it will give priority to the households that are run by divorced women, widows or separated women, as well as which are run by unmarried women. So this is a scheme which is going to benefit a large number of families, but the focus will be on those houses which are run by women. The only condition is that their composite income should be less than 2 lakhs per annum. So this scheme is going to benefit farmers as well as other sections also. Next is National Health Authority. So this is responsible for the implementation of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, and NHA is headed by Minister of Health and Family Welfare. Next is Project Lion and Project Dolphin. So these two projects were announced by the Prime Minister during his speech on the occasion of 74th Independence Day. So Project Lion is for the conservation of Asiatic lions. Project Dolphin is for the conservation of dolphins. And the primary focus is on Gangetic dolphins. It was declared as National Aquatic Animal in 2010. Next is National Digital Health Mission. So this was also announced by the Prime Minister during Independence Day celebration speech. And as per this initiative, every Indian will get health ID card, and this will have all the relevant information about the health status of that person. Next is Swasthya Portal. So this is a portal that has been launched to provide health and nutrition related information to the tribal population of India. And this is an initiative of MOTA, that is Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Present Minister is Mr. Arjun Munda, and he is going to launch this portal on 17th of August. Next is rehabilitation of abandoned villages through Ice Stupas project. So HIAL, that is Himalayan Institute of Alternatives in Ladakh, is going to implement this project to make the villages habitable again, as the people are migrating due to water scarcity. And for this purpose, HIAL and MOTA are going to collaborate. MOTA stands for Ministry of Tribal Affairs. And last news is related to Blue Bay Marine Park Reserve. So this is in Mauritius, and this was in news because of the fuel oil spill by the Japanese ship. And because of this spill, Mauritius declared environmental emergency. So these were the most important questions and events of today's video. Thank you.